and a very Merry Christmas. Today we're going to make some really yummy, scrumptious little Christmas, well, they're not puddings, they're Christmas cakes, little Christmas cakes. And I'm going to show you how to do this. You don't have to put them into these kind of containers. You could also cook them in a bun tin, or you could cook them in a big, large tin. This tin, I've got one of these bases which helps when you push it out, and it's what we call a loose bottom tin, so you can pull out the bottom. So it's very easy. Don't forget, before you start cooking, please always wash your hands, put on an apron, keep nice and clean. All right. A Christmas cake, a lot of people think it's very difficult. It's actually not very difficult. It's just there's quite a lot of preparation. Okay, so the first thing you must do is soak your fruit. I've got mixed dried fruits here. So I've got currants, I've got sultanas, raisins, and I've got some cranberries. But again, you can choose what you would like. We've got flour, we've got butter. This is plain flour. We've got golden brown sugar. You can use dark sugar if you prefer. We've got some golden syrup in here. We've got 3 eggs, and we've got the Zest of One Orange. You could use the orange juice to soak the fruit. So you could squeeze the orange juice and soak the fruit in there. And then you've got all your spices, so you can choose your spices. Okay, so I'm quickly going to show you how to do this. All right. You put the butter, there's 250 of butter, into your bowl. You can use a mixer if you'd like. That's completely up to you. You're going to add your sugar. All right, and you're going to have to mix that really well until all the sugar disappears. If you want to cheat a little bit, if it's very cold, you can always warm the butter in the microwave or in the oven, but just be careful. You don't want it to be liquid. You want it to still be solid. That's actually quite important. So mix that in. Okay, obviously with an electric mixer, it's a little bit easier, but that's absolutely fine. Use your good old arm. Okay, and then to that, I am going to add some ginger as a spice. I'm going to add some cinnamon. Okay, and I'm going to add some Chinese 5 spice because that has everything. You can also use mixed spice as well if you like. You don't want too much, probably about ½ a teaspoon. Okay, and then back to a really good mix. Get that all in. That's lovely, like that. Okay, and then you want to mix up, crack 3 whole eggs. And you want to mix that up really, really well. All right. You're going to add also your zest of orange. Okay, so you want to do your orange on the zester like that. You just take off the orange bit. You don't go down to what we call the pith, the white. That's a bit bitter. Okay, brilliant. All right, so give that a mix. Then just for a little of extra flavour, I'm going to put in some golden syrup. Obviously the golden syrup is also going to give it more sweetness, all right? But it does give the cake a little bit of sort of, well, I suppose it makes it a bit thicker really. All right, so I'm going to take a tablespoon like that. You can see how thick that is. All right, again, you might, if it's really cold, you might want to warm that up in the microwave. Again, don't over warm it because you don't want it to be too sticky. Obviously it is very, very sticky, as you can see. Okay, so when you add your eggs, you need to add your eggs and your flour at the same time so that the mixture doesn't curdle. You do not want to add your fruit until the end. You're going to add your fruit when you are almost at the finished stage. So you can see now it's starting to curdle. The egg doesn't like the butter. So I'm just going to add a bit of flour in there. Note, I haven't used any baking powder. No baking powder, because I don't really want this to rise because this is more of a Christmas cake. And it's going to be quite heavy in fruit, but not too heavy. I've sort of made this recipe perhaps a little bit less fruity, particularly if you're making small individual cakes like I've done, because you just don't want just to have a mouthful of pure fruit. And it is really important that you soak the fruit, because if you don't soak the fruit, it's just hard and it's not nice. So there we go, here it comes. So I'm just going to add the last of the flour there. It might seem to you that there's too much flour at this stage, but like I say, when you add the fruit is going to bring in moisture into the cake. So don't worry about that. You will see what happens when we add it and it goes in. So here comes the fruit. There's a lot of fruit, so I would do it gradually so that you get the fruit running right the way through the mixture. You can still see a little bit of flour there. Don't worry about that. That will all come together when we get all the fruit in. You'll think, oh gosh, that's a lot of fruit. That's what I thought, but I've actually reduced the amount of fruit and it's just about right actually. I think the cranberries are a nice add on to the fruit. If you can get some dried cranberries, you could use apricots as well. You'll also notice in this recipe I haven't used any nuts, because I think quite a lot of people have allergies to nuts, but that doesn't mean you can't. So you could use almonds, you could use any kind of nuts. You might have to chop them up. So there you have your mixture, that's it. You know it's right because it doesn't really want to fall. It's falling a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. And then all you do is you put that mixture into whichever containers you're using. So I'm using my hearts, which is just going to make lovely little cakes. And you only want to fill them about that much. And once you fill them, you want to drop them just to get rid of any of the air bubbles that are inside. Okay, so I'm going to go and do my Blue Peter moment. Here's one I made earlier. Okay, this is before the decoration. So you use all that mixture, fill all your containers, and then what I've got here is just a little bit of icing sugar. This is literally icing sugar and a tiny bit of water. And once the cake is cool, it doesn't have to be, you can't have it piping hot because this will just run everywhere. But just spread that out over the cake, the little mini cake like that. There we go. And then you could take whichever kind of Christmas decks you like. It's up to you. I've got all sorts of different ones here. Lots and lots of different ones. Hollies and berries and things like that. And then I've got something that's rather special, which is new to us, which is this amazing cake glitter spray. And you literally, just needs a little bit, not too much, just to give it that lovely Christmas look. And there you have it. You can bake those, like I say, in these small containers. You could do it in a bun tin, or you could do the whole mixture in a cake tin, all right? Now, the only thing to be very clear about is the smaller the container, the quicker they'll cook, all right? So a large cake like this will take a lot longer. I hope you enjoy. Have a very, very happy Christmas and enjoy some little mini Christmas cakes.